I wanted to ask, first of all, how that conversation happened after making the band stuff. How did you end up linking with Puff again to give you a solo deal?
I did this. I put together this freestyle.
The 10-minute freestyle.
The 10-minute
that you
freestyle is
gassed,
so epic.
that you gassed, that Vlad made
Y'all
a little
understand
cartoon
something?
out of.
When I do like my like genius, right? Like yay, right? And I still got that footage, right? That me with that big ass 3X t-shirt on, gold teeth, braids, you know, at the time. And I play that 10-minute freestyle, it's gonna go down in history. See, it didn't get as light then because
Really?
it was too advanced. It was far too advanced for the time frame.
Right.
Right? Now, in 2022, got that two for me? Now, when it gets put in a certain light, after we look back and reflect, people going to be mind blown because people can't do that now. It's still special now. So that's what I created. I created a 10-minute freestyle. It was really 11 minutes. And I went over about 50 different beats. And I had the beats interchanging and switching, and I switched my flow every time the beat changed. You know? And I remembered it off the top of the dome. Like, I remembered it. So even when them beats would switch, I would just do it. And I could go anywhere and do it. So that was the thing. I had it memorized and I could do it. And I had took the CD with me everywhere I went that had all the beats on it. I would perform it for people. So people was like
11 minutes straight.
11 minutes straight. And people would say like, yo, I've never seen nothing like this in my life. I got to take you to my man. And then they take me to their man, and the man like, yo, I never seen nothing like this in my life. He take me to his man. And his man like, yo, hold on, I got to call my man because my man is such and such. So then they take me to such and such, and such had a position at such and such and knew such and such. So they took me to so and so, and it went like that all the way till I got to Diddy. Wow. That's how I got to Diddy. So I went to Sadiq in Philly. He's on Black Friday. He managed Beans. Beanie Siegel.
Crazy.
He got Beanie Siegel with Jay-Z.
Oh, wow.
So he took us to meet Jay-Z and meet Tata at the time at the 40 Club because we was going to have a meeting with them. But he took us to meet Beans first. So we met Beans. Beans was like, yo, this dude is incredible. What the fuck? So Beans took us to Dame.
Ooh.
Then we go to Dame. Dame is with Biggs, so it's Dame and Biggs, and they're in the studio. I do it for Dame. Dame is like, yo, I remember last great motherfucker he seen was Hove.
Right.
So he was like, yo, this kid is crazy. You know, but of course, state property, you know, because Chris is a beast. But he was like, yo, I didn't know people still rap 10 minutes. Like, I didn't know this was a thing still. Like, so I did it for him. And then we had Puff next. And he was kind of saying, like, don't go. You know, like, don't go to Puff. And then we went to Puff. I did it for Puff. Blew Puff's mind. So Puff was like, y'all niggas got more meetings? So he was like, yeah, we going to go see Hove. That was the next meeting. We had Hove. And Puff's like, yo, just come home. Go do your other meetings. Just come home. Just come back home. So he's like, home? He's like, yeah, because you know this is home
right
now for you.
Right.
If you want to come back, this home. So y'all can have Daddy's house. You know, that's the studio Biggie and all them recorded at in New York. You know, y'all could be there. Y'all could, you know, record, do whatever you want until you make the decision. Like, I want y'all to sign with me.
Right.
So we went to go do the Jay-Z thing.
How was that?
And I'll tell you, it was crazy, right? So, look, this shit is epic.
Yo.
We pull up. I can't make this shit up.
I know.
Right?
I'm like...
I could, but this is the truth. We pull up to the 40 Club. We're going to meet Jay-Z, right? And we pull up there, and it's a Maybach parked out. Now, this is like the first time you see Maybach, right? it's a Maybach parked, and it got like the partition, like the that thing in the block that you can't see through the window, right? So we like, yo, we like, that's Jay-Z. In our minds, we like, yo, that's Jay-Z, that's Jay-Z. So they leaving out the 4040 Club. Jay-Z, Beyonce, Puff, and Naomi Campbell.
Oh, wow.
They're getting into Jay-Z's. I'm assuming it's Jay-Z's Maybach, right? Maybe it was Puff's, I don't know. But they're getting into the Maybach. And we standing there, me and all my hood niggas, across the street, and we just looking at paparazzi, because Jay-Z, the 4040 Club was new at this time. So it was a lot of hype around it. It was hard to get into and everything. So Puff looks up. He got like these senses. It's like uncanny ability, right? And he peers over as he's getting into the Maybach. Jay-Z got in first. Beyonce got in beside him. Naomi Campbell got in. And then Puff was getting in. And Puff turned and he saw us across the street. And he got out of the Maybach. Beelined across the street, right? Leaving bodyguards, everybody just walks over to us. He like, yo, what's good? What y'all doing here? Puts his arm around me and starts walking me down the street.
Oh my gosh.
And we're like, yeah, we came. Sadiq was taking us to meet Rockefeller, whatever. He like, yo, just meet me at Justin's. That's his restaurant at the time. He's like, yo, just meet me at Justin's. So we're like, okay. So I don't know what he did to Jay-Z. Got rid of Jay-Z.
Oh my gosh.
Right? We meet him at Justin's. He's like, yo, we need to do this deal. We need to do it right now. We need to do this deal. So ever since then, I was with Puff. This is like, he just pushed the line. He just pushed the line so crazy. And ever since, and we did a deal, and it was great. Yeah. It was great. It was my first time having some money. $500,000 deal in 2005.
How was that contract?
It was dope because I had my lawyers.
Okay.
At this time, I had my lawyers, Paul Gardner. Shout out to Paul Gardner.
All right.
You know, one of the best entertainment lawyers in all of Maryland. You know, in all of the world.
Right.
But he did the deal, got everything done, and I was a bad boy artist.
Crazy. Can you talk about, because I know you signed through the Bloc Incorporated, a local Baltimore record label.
C's, Marty, my boys, man.
Yeah, can you just describe the Bloc and what that situation was with you? Because ultimately...
The Bloc was like, it was like almost like a smaller edition of like, you know how you sing like BMF with Meech? And like, so the Bloc was like the Baltimore kind of like version of that. You know, these dudes had all the cars, they had all the money, they had all the hood fame, and they just wanted some artists. They wanted some artists to transition their life from the streets to, you know, legit.
Right.
And that was their dream. So the girl that lived across the street from me, Keisha, it's always a Keisha, right?
Yeah.
The girl that lived across the street from me, Keisha, I used to go over her house and we would smoke and chill or whatever. And she's like, you know, my baby daddy got a record label.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what's up. She's like, I need to introduce you to him. I'm like, yeah, you should introduce me to him sometime. So one day I'm coming home and I see like this drop top Benz just speed through the block, like speed off from her house, like just woo. So I run over to her house real quick. I'm like, yo, who the fuck just left your house? Like, was that Jay-Z? Like, who you know? She's like, oh no, that's my baby daddy. I'm like, that nigga living like that? I need to meet this nigga. So she introduced us. He like, yeah, I'm starting a record label, The Bloc, this, that, and the third. You know, that was Corey. We call him C's. And then my man Marty. So they introduced us and, you know, the rest was history. They had a studio down on Pennsylvania and Gold. You know what I'm saying? Pennsylvania and Gold Street. And we went to the studio every day and we just started building. I didn't even know what I was doing. You know, They had like a multi-million-dollar studio. I didn't even know what the fuck I was doing. I could just rap. I didn't know how to make songs, you know, none of that. And they just fell in love with my talent. And we had an artist, Scar Akbar. He was like the lead artist at the time. And we eventually had another artist called named Drop. He was from New York. And that was the Block. We was the Triangle Offense. And then we just
Wow.
went around battling people, shit like that. But with the label, we went to Miami, had all the cars out, went to every club, brought all the Cristal. This was in the Cristal era.
Right.
We wasn't sipping no Moet. We was sipping Cristal, going everywhere, and we was doing it, on that level. Some Baltimore dudes, and really was the pioneers for a lot of the movements that's going on right now. Shout out to my man Sonny, my boy Sticks, my man Wimp, everybody from around, the projects. So these are all my peoples. Yep.
So you lost the deal due to some street stuff. What exactly happened? Were you getting arrested? What happened?
Yeah, well, a lot of this shit with my guys, everything was going good, I had did over 100 songs with Bad Boy. We was trimming it down, because for the album, you got to have like 15 songs.
Right.
So we trimming it down from 100 to 15, whatever. We going through that whole process. And we get to the last day, and like none of my people show up. And I'm like,
oh wow,
like what the fuck is
crazy.
up?
Yeah.
And like they didn't come all day. And I'm like, yo, where my niggas at? So after I get finished working for that day, I called my man Marty, and Marty was CEO of the company, and I'm like, yo, what's good with everybody? He's like, yo, I'm at the hotel. So I go back to the hotel, and I knock on his door, and then I just look at his face. His face is like sad, like, and I'm looking at him like, yo, what's good, nigga? You good? And he like, man. And then he just had his head down. He was like, yo, they got my girl. And I'm like, what you mean? And he was just like, yo, they got my girl. And I'm like, I don't know what you mean, bro. And he was just like, so he wasn't really saying much. So we get in a car, we drive back to Baltimore. And eventually we find out that they kidnapped this girl and
oh my gosh,
held her for $1 million ransom. She gave them the money, and they still killed her.
Oh my
And
gosh.
they put her in the trunk of her own car and parked it. And that was the last day that I was at Bad Boy. And then after that, Marty had to get low, because shit was just too crazy. And, shit was just too crazy. And now everything is different. And in one day, everything is different.